If you've ever bought a set of brand new tires, or even paused for a moment outside a tire shop, you might have spotted something curious. Thin bands of color wrapped neatly around the tread. Red, yellow, blue. Sometimes more than one stripe layered side by side. They look intentional, almost like a design choice. And yet, after just a few trips down the road, they're gone. Most people assume these lines are there for branding, safety information, or maybe some kind of quality signal meant for drivers. But here's the twist: those colored stripes were never meant for you in the first place. They have nothing to do with grip, performance, speed ratings, or road laws. By the time a tire is mounted on your car, those markings have already served their purpose. To uncover what they actually mean, we have to step away from the road and head behind the scenes, into the world of tire manufacturing, and a bit of history right here on Ordinary. The habit of marking tires with paint goes all the way back to the early 1900s, when tire production began shifting into the age of mass manufacturing. As cars became more widespread, tire makers moved away from slow, handcrafted methods and toward fast-moving assembly lines capable of producing thousands of nearly identical tires every single day. That rapid growth created a new challenge. With so many tires rolling off the line, each with different sizes, internal structures, tread designs, and rubber formulas, how could factories keep everything organized without slowing production to a crawl? In those early factories, workers turned to simple tools like chalk and paint to mark tires as they moved through production and storage. These markings were inexpensive, quick to apply, and easy to spot from across the room, perfect for crowded factory floors and massive warehouses, long before barcodes or RFID systems were even imaginable. As tire engineering grew more advanced and manufacturing spread across the globe, those basic marks gradually evolved into the colored stripes we recognize today. Even though tire technology has changed in dramatic ways, these painted lines never disappeared. The reason is simple: they still work remarkably well. At their most basic level, the colored stripes on new tires serve as manufacturing and logistics identifiers. They're added near the very end of the production process, typically right after a tire has been cured and passed inspection. Each line allows factory crews, warehouse teams, and distributors to recognize important details instantly, without having to stop and examine the small, mold text on the tire's sidewall. There's no universal rulebook when it comes to the colors themselves. A red stripe on one brand's tire could mean something completely different on another. That's because each manufacturer follows its own internal marking system. Depending on the factory, these stripes might indicate the tire's size, its tread design, the type of rubber compound used, a specific production run, or even the plant where it was produced. In many situations, these markings are especially useful for grouping the right tires together before they're shipped out. When dozens of nearly identical tires are being made at the same time, the colored lines make it easy to sort and match them into proper sets without confusion. You might ask why companies don't simply depend on labels or printed identification codes instead. The reason comes down to speed and visibility. On a fast-moving factory floor or inside a massive warehouse, workers often need to recognize a tire instantly, sometimes from several meters away. Painted stripes stand out clearly, even in dim lighting or dusty conditions, and they don't rely on scanners, power, or any additional tools to be understood. These markings become especially valuable when tires are prepared for large-scale shipping. Imagine a distributor ordering hundreds of tires that all share the same tread design, but come in slightly different widths. Color stripes make it easy to keep everything organized, preventing mix-ups before the tires ever leave the warehouse. That means fewer mistakes, faster processing, and lower costs overall. Once a tire arrives at a store, or is mounted on a vehicle, those stripes are no longer necessary. That's why they're applied using paint designed to fade quickly. As soon as the tire starts rolling on the road, the markings naturally wear away. This is where many misunderstandings begin. The colored lines have nothing to do with tire quality, lifespan, speed rating, or safety. A tire marked with 3 stripes isn't better than one with a single line, and a yellow stripe doesn't indicate higher performance than a red one. They also don't reveal whether a tire is new or old. That information is found in the .date code mold into the sidewall. Another common myth is that these stripes are connected to wheel balancing or alignment. That's not the case. While tires may include balance-related markings, those usually appear as small colored dots on the sidewall, not long lines across the tread. The stripes exist solely for identification during manufacturing and distribution, not for how the tire performs once it's on the road. If you've ever noticed those stripes disappearing after just a short drive, that's no accident. The paint is intentionally made to wear away quickly once the tire meets the road. Manufacturers don't want permanent markings that could affect grip, create extra noise, or distract from the tire's appearance. The goal is a clean, uniform look once the tire is in regular use. In fact, if those stripes didn't fade easily, it would raise concerns. Paint that's too thick or too durable could interfere with how the tire interacts with the road surface. So when those bright lines vanish after a few kilometers, it's actually a sign that everything is working exactly as it should. In a world filled with digital tracking, laser etching, and smart factories, relying on painted stripes might seem old-fashioned. But in reality, this simple method remains one of the fastest and most dependable ways to manage high-volume tire production. Paint doesn't malfunction, doesn't need software updates, and doesn't require special training to understand at a glance. Today, many manufacturers combine these colored stripes with modern systems like barcodes and computerized tracking. The stripes act as a visual safety net, an instant confirmation that helps people and machines work together smoothly on the factory floor. It's a perfect reminder that sometimes, the simplest ideas continue to thrive, even inside the most advanced industries. So the next time you notice those colorful lines on a brand new tire, you'll know the truth. They're not decorative, not marketing flair, and not some hidden performance signal. They're quiet helpers from the factory floor, doing important work long before the tire ever meets the pavement. And once that work is finished, they quietly disappear, leaving behind something most of us rarely think about. It's a tiny detail, easy to overlook, yet it tells a much bigger story, one about how modern manufacturing balances tradition, efficiency, and just a hint of color to keep the world in motion. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for a future video, feel free to share it in the comments below. And thank you for joining us on this journey through ordinary. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories hidden in the smallest details.